Welcome back, artists. Today we are going to look at pictures of farms in Oregon, different things that are grown or produced in Oregon. We are going to then create a drawing with one of those products. It could be food or an animal, anything that is grown in Oregon. So I have some examples at your seats that you can look at and draw a picture from, or you could make something up in your mind from what you know grows in Oregon. And we'll spend some time brainstorming that. But how we're going to start is if you use one of these pictures, like maybe I like this picture here of the sheep. Probably I don't want to draw all these sheep, but maybe I'll just do the one right here in front. And we're going to use a half-size sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. Figure out which way you want to orient your paper. I think I'm going to use a horizontal format because that, to me, looks like a landscape. I want my sheep to stand out, to be nice and large, to be the focal point. So I'm going to start by using a pencil to draw my sheep. Now, as I do this, I also want to think about foreground, midground, and background. All right, well, after I get my main object or my focal point drawn, then I think I'm going to outline it with a black marker. You don't have to do that. That's just personal preference. You could just start coloring it in with colored pencils. You could use markers. We have all different kinds of things at the Drawing Center. Because we're doing this with a little bit more detail, I would stay away from the oil pastels. I would use either colored pencils or markers. So just because I now want to finish my sheep and give him a little bit more detail, I'm going to outline him with the black marker. But then the next thing I want to do is fill the space. So I need to think about what is going to be in and around my sheep. He is obviously in the foreground. He's in the front. So I might do a horizon line. That is going to be an important part of our landscape drawing. So I'm just going to make my horizon line kind of a curved line here. And I'm going to put some trees back here. So I'm just going to use a shape that just kind of looks like trees, not getting too much detail back here, but just enough that it looks like the space is filled and that the sheep is in a field. And then maybe here I'll put some bushes or a fence. That might be a good thing. So I want to think about the whole picture. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is shading. So if you're doing something like the melons, notice the shadow and the highlight, the light and dark spaces on the fruit, on the melons. And I want to show you how to do that. So if you're doing any kind of melon or berry, any kind of produce, it's going to have those highlights. So I'm, again, just going to draw it with the black. And this guy has the little part where the vine was connected to it. Now, when I color my melon in, I want to use at least 3 different values of, in this case, it's kind of a greenish yellow. 3 different values. So when I color, I'll have the darker value down here. And again, if you push a little bit harder with your crayon or your colored pencil, you can even use the crayon sticks, you're going to get a darker value. Color the way the fruit grows. So in this case, it's kind of a circular, so I want to color around it like a circle shape because that is the way the produce grows. And it's also kind of the way that the shadow is on the melon here. And you can see it kind of curving. We don't want the shadow to be straight. That would make your fruit not look round. You want that fruit to look curved. So in order to make it look curved, you have to draw the shadows in a curved way. If I put them just straight across here, my melon would look flat. And then up here, I would do the lighter value. So see how I'm creating the coloring, the shape of the melon as almost a circle. This one needs to be sharpened. So those are just some little tips, artists. Also, I like to blend these colors together so you don't have this hard edge. But if I very lightly then take my darker value up into my medium value and color, I'm going to create another value, and it's going to blend and soften that line. Take your time when you are coloring these in. We want them to look really good because this is actually going to be a part of the Oregon Agricultural Society. I'm going to send these to them. They're creating a calendar next year, and they want to use student artwork for the photos in the calendar. So they're going to pick 12 student pictures to be in the calendar. So you want to try your best because maybe one of yours will get chosen. All right, have fun, artists.